Tenjum. White-black tokens. For Carpenter, Grixis Delver, we've seen a lot of this, actually. Kevin Jones, Jim Davis, I know they both love that deck, and they're playing it here this weekend. But white-black tokens, what gives here from Andrew Tenjum?
Well, I think this deck is really powerful against most of the fair decks. Certainly, Grixis Delver does not want to play against Bitter Blossom. That is for sure.
That's true. Doesn't love playing against Lingering Souls either, I don't think. And now here's Rest in Peace. Doesn't love playing against that card either.
And for the unfair matchups, however you want to quantify that, you do, a lot of them are creature-focused, and you have spot removal backed up by Lingering Souls and Spectral Possession. That's not a bad recipe for beating a lot of the 3.5 decks of the format.
There's a Concealed Courtyard, a new addition. Now here's an Inquisition of Kozai. Carpenter only has one land, so we'll see what his hand is. 2 Lightning Bolts, Young Pyromancer, Collective Brutality, Mana Leak, and a Spell Snare. Makes sense why you'd keep.
Yep. Spell Snare in particular, I mean, Carpenter, it's very hard for this deck to beat a Resolve Bitter Blossom.
Yes. I know once Bitter Blossom kind of came back into Modern, people were expecting some pretty big things from it. That hasn't really panned out just yet, but in certain matchups it is, I don't want to say unbeatable, but it's pretty tough.
You get to see the old Bitter Blossom experience.
These two players in our play to stay bracket at this stage, which of course means to play to stay into the tournament. Our previous match in the Battle for Buys, so those players, Andrew Jessup and Jeff Hoagland, they're in day number 2, so maybe Jeff can be a little comfortable, I guess, that loss. It's not
He's
the end of
fine.
the world. Yes.
It's just, you can see it on his face.
Yeah, of course.
What else could I have done?
The answer is nothing.
Well, play a different deck.
Yes.
But I'm saying of the cards he drew.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Tenjum is going to sacrifice a Marsh Flats here.
Yeah, when you're asking, when you say there's something I could have done, it depends how wide of an arc we're casting on could have done.
Understood. Understood. Waxing some philosophy in here.
It's complicated, man. There's a lot of things going on, you know?
What's next here for Tenjum? Tapping 4 mana. Sorin. Hello, old friend. I believe the Solemn Visitor.
It has been a bit since this has visited.
Let's take a look at I haven't seen one of these in a long time. It's going to make a Tom Ross vampire token, I believe. The Sorin Solemn Visitor.
It's just gonna, I think it's just going to trade with 2 bolts, but that's still plenty good.
That's plenty fine. Exhaust your opponent of resources. 4 loyalty. Went down to 2 to make a 2/2 black vampire creature token with flying on the battlefield. Until your next turn, creatures you control get +1 for the summoning and lifelink 2, and then of course the -6 will get you an emblem. That's pretty hard for the opponent to beat. So it has been a hot minute since we've seen that Planeswalker. For Tenjum, he has an intangible virtue. It's a combo.
Banned.
Yeah.
That card is illegal, sir. Banned and block constructed. Absolutely not.
It was a little too
You remember
good. That? Of course I remember that.
2 of them.
It was way too good with Lingering Souls. It was legitimate to ban and block.
I mean, that's another very long conversation.
Yes,
That's
yes
okay.
it is. Yes it is.
Illegal maneuver.
Carpenter.
Because you see, when you have it with tokens, it is efficient, maybe.
Carpenter with a Tesla Lighthouse. Here's a Snapcaster image looking to get a little beatdown going now. 2 intangible virtues, a Rest in Peace, and a Shambling Vent over there for Andrew Tenjum. Tenjum will draw. Troubles here. Bitter Blossom. But Spell Snare still in the hand. I'll take care of that. What's Tenjum's follow-up, assuming he has one? He's going to play Concealed Courtyard, maybe? Yes, and his last card has Rest in Peace. He doesn't have anything going on. Carpenter will draw. He's finally found a 3rd land. Here's an attack for 2. In situations like this, we've seen this time and time again, Patrick, where one person just has 1 land and a lot of cards in hand, of course. The other person starts to flood out a little bit, and then the advantage is in Brad Carpenter's hands.
I mean, the pressure is on the person flooding out to do something in spots like that.
Tenjum going to fire up the Shambling Vent. He'll attack here for 2.
Just confirming that doesn't work with his Crusades.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. It is a not a token. It is a non-token creature. This is a Thought Scour. He'll target Tenjum. Godless Shrine and Zealous Persecution go to the graveyard. Steam Vents the draw there for Carpenter. Now he'll sacrifice that Scalding Tarn. Of course, the Tarn will be exiled because there's a Rest in Peace in the battlefield, so we'll make sure that gets into the right pile, and he takes care of that for me.
Nice thing, though, in Tenjum's spot here is a lot of his cards basically equate to multiple cards in this spot.
Oh, yeah. If he draws on Lingering Souls or Spectral Procession, he's doing fantastic.
Yeah. Spectral Procession, definitely the prize now that Rest in Peace is in play. But Lingering Souls would still be a fine draw here, especially because of his completely busted Intangible Virtues.
Previously banned.
Banned. That maneuver, sir, is illegal. You may not make your tokens +1/+1.
Oh, don't sell Vigilance short.
And Vigilance.
Come on. There's a Steam Fence untapped for Carpenter. Carpenter with a Painful Truths, Snapcaster Mage, Mana Leak, Collective Brutality as well. Curious to say which way Brad wants to go. He'll play Collective Brutality.
I'm guessing Tenjum's hand's pretty bad.
I have
based
a
on the
feeling.
last 5 or so turns.
Yes. I'll say this. I'll be shocked if it's good.
He's got some
Something rolled up over there.
Sorin 6 ready to go.
Yeah. Path to Exile and Rest in Peace. Yeah. I didn't think there'd be much going on.
Yeah, Carpenter's so tight for mana here. And Tenjum has so many draws that validate a Snapcaster Mage that I like not pathing the Snapcaster in response.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, he can just say, I'm not attacking with Shambling Vent anymore.
Yep.
We'll head back over to Tenjum. He'll draw. Reaching for mana right away. Gonna fire up Shambling Vent. 2 damage dealt. 2 life gained. And now here's Snapcaster Mage for Carpenter. Bradley on tap, he'll draw. Picked up a Serum Visions. I think he'll start there. And he will. So he'll draw a card, and now we'll see him scry twice. Collective Brutality and Scalding Tarn are the cards to choose from.
Kolaghan's Command, a bit of an underperformer here. No access to the graveyard. Shock's never very good. Nothing to do with an artifact. And Tenjum with a dead Rest in Peace in hand to discard. Should that come up?
Yeah, it could be better. Could be a little bit better. We're going to head back over to Andrew now. Procession, Lingering Souls. Anybody home? That's a magic card.
That's a good one here.
Start to churn out a couple 3/3 tokens now.
Mm-hmm.
Fire up Shambling Vent. In. There's a block.
Imagine we'll see the Kolaghan's Command to finish off.
Not doing much else. That and make Tenjum discard. Tenjum will discard the Rest in Peace.
You can see, though, a really solid recipe for attacking Grixis, enchantments.
Yes.
They do not handle that card type very well at all.
Tassiger the draw.
That is nice.
Yeah. Gonna cost 6. The truths are gonna get rather painful now. Carpenter will pay a red, blue, and a black, I think. Gonna draw 1 in Serum Visions, 2 in Tassiger, 3 in Lightning Bolt. He's down to 5. He'll attack for 2, potential down to 14.
Quietly, a real problematic card for Carpenter has been his copy of Desolate Lighthouse. He has been so tight on colored mana here. Painful Truths got stranded in a couple spots there. He couldn't follow up with a Serum Vision or a Lightning Bolt. And it has not been activated yet.
Yeah, and you said it. Enchantments appear to be the problem here for Grixis Delver. And Tenjum has 4 of them on the battlefield that matter.
He's got 2 that matter.
You don't like Virtue?
Jury's out.
What? I mean, I think the fact that he's making 3/3 tokens is real.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's fine now.
Yeah, sure.
Took us a little bit.
Sure. Well, you got to get the engine going.
Yeah. It's a slow burn.
Carpenter will scry 2 cards to the bottom. Lightning Bolt will take care of the token.
This is a tough way to do it.
Yeah, it's not. Those exchanges are not favorable.
Not to say that Carpenter's making a mistake. That's the best thing he can do here. But, you know, it's a tough way to do it.
End step. Cut! Snapcaster Mage down. Anything else doing here for Carpenter?
I'm a little surprised not to see the Mana Leak there.
Same.
I mean, it's not great. The Snapcaster's not worth a whole lot in the face of the Bitter Blossom +2 intangible virtues. But what else is going on with that Mana Leak? I guess the hope is that you get to discard to the Desolate Lighthouse, but I just don't know if you have that kind of time.
I don't know if we're ever getting to that point. Arid Mesa, pass the turn back.
Maybe it's just bad both ways. Maybe fighting over it's bad because you're having a 2-1 against a 3-3 every turn, and that just has no value. But I just suspect Carpenter is not going to have time to Desolate Lighthouse away the Mana Leak.
Carpenter going to search for a basic swamp. Isle on the draw. Full price, Isle 3. Here's Tassiger.
Welcome to the party.
Yeah.
We've been waiting.
Not on the clearance rack. Another fairy token from Bitter Blossom. And Tenjum will show his Zealous Persecution, and we are all done here. So he'll give his fairy token that can attack +1/+1. And Andrew Tenjum going to win this match here over Brad Carpenter. 2-0. White-black tokens and an orthodox choice here from Tenjum. But it will take care of Grixis Delver. And if Tenjum's prediction was a lot of players were going to play Grixis Delver here, and with Jim Davis, Kevin Jones, and Brad Carpenter here, his deck, which might not be the best deck in Modern, might be the best deck for this portion of the tournament.
Well, Bitter Blossom